quite good. Obviously with a whole new package going on with the Agama cars, we got the range here, bullet engine, different to what I've ever run. Obviously new fuel, new tyres, so pretty much every combination of the puzzle is different for me this year. It was daunting, obviously, for the past few weeks with the weather as well. We haven't been able to even get out, maybe 2 days since I started for Nemo Racing on the 1st of December. But so far, so good. Yeah, I mean, we had this, I say the 2 days we had, I had 2 days sort of down at the local track, Westmill, where we got just engines run in, going around the track, tightening up screws that were sort of coming loose, and got the cars to a base where they've actually been around the track. And then I had a little invite up to Storm Valley, as you say, where we also went to a race in between Christmas and New Year called the Christmas Cross. So I thought, I'm going up there for a race, I may as well go take a day up there. And then what with the weather, I went back sort of 2 or 3 days just to somewhere to race, getting used to my radio, which I didn't mention, my new Samwa XEZ, which again was different to what I'm using last year. So not only the equipment I'm using, but also the piece of equipment I'm holding is also different. So yeah, so everything was different. So I went up there for a couple of days, just 2 days before the race, and had actually returned back 1 day for some fuel testing prior. So it may be, say 5 days, 2 of which at your sort of everyday sort of outdoor track. 3 or 4 days, as of which in our one-off indoor track up at Storm Valley, up in the north of England. Well, to be fair, we headed here with actually, I say testing, the days we did were just getting my equipment running, getting me knowing what I was doing. Obviously the Agama cars are fairly similar to the old cars I used to use. However, there's minor differences all the way through. So when I was building it, it was still actually the unknown, even though they look so similar. So coming here with a setup which wasn't actually what I tested. We haven't done any testing as for caster or this or that as to my feeling. So actually we went with John's setup, which we are 2 very different drivers, but we just knew that putting that down, it wasn't going to be dreadful. It wasn't maybe going to suit me initially, but it certainly wasn't going to be anywhere bad to start. So immediately in practice 1, we decided we needed some different diff oil, we needed to change the shocks. Actually the caster we left the same, however most of the diff oils we changed. So yeah, we had sort of 3 rounds to get on the ball, as of which normally I only tend to do 1 or 2 changes between rounds. However, in that close sort of small period of time, we had to kind of go for 3 or 4 at once to try and make headway to round 1, because it's again only 3 rounds of qualifying. So yeah, we came here with John's setup, and then we've tweaked it towards myself in ways of needing more roll in the car, because John stays very flat, very easy to drive. And then also with the pivot of the car, his car is quite safe in the means of it never really wants to step out, or whereas I needed the car slightly more lively for myself to pick up the pace slightly. And then we ended up where we were with obviously into round 1 with a TQ, just a steady run. Round 2, slightly busy race, should I say. No collisions with the back markers, but some busy cars in the way. And then round 3 we went for the prime tyre, because we had been running VMAX on the car. And we thought we'd go for round 3 all out with a cube, which is obviously our small pin tyre, heading for the 9 laps in 5 minutes 16. And this is where we found ourselves sat now, a prepped car ready for the semi-practice and the final. The engine was probably one of the things I was most sort of, how can we say, nervous about. Having tested a Ninja and an OS engine possibly 6 years ago, I didn't quite like I felt there was no feeling and very different. However, when we bolted this engine in and went for it on the first day, actually the feeling is the closest engine I've had to an electric car pretty much ever. Also the top speed is absolutely phenomenal. There's been comments all weekend from various top drivers and people that know what they're talking about, just as to how fast, how clean it sounds on the track. The torque and acceleration out of the corners is incredible. I also noticed that a couple of weekends back when we did some running on some wet Astro. It dried at one middle of the point of the day, and just the torque and the grunt of the engine is unbelievable. We're working on some fuel mileage, which isn't quite at where I was with my previous engines. However, we're not a million miles away, and nowadays I don't think one pit stop, with the speed we're doing the pit stops nowadays, I don't think they're a huge thing over 45-hour finals sort of thing. For the cold and damp conditions at, say, Storm Valley, but also here where it's very slick and like a very polished surface, I've noticed that the traction never actually seems that low. So it just means that when we get into the warmer temperatures and the higher grip tracks, we might have to go to sort of one step higher than what the other guys do, just to get that. Obviously, when your super soft tyre becomes in a high grip track, it obviously gets a real wobble on and can become difficult to drive after a sort of 5-10 period of time. So we just need to make that step when it comes to that, just to make sure we've got the guts to go to a harder tyre, which is something I've been trying to talk to the guys a lot actually, because they're always scared, like, oh, but the other guys are running soft, or whereas why do we have to go to medium? And it's like, don't worry about the name. If the compound is the compound we need, then just go for that. So yeah, the tyres so far have been very good. They're the Beta VMAX and the Cubes, which I've been pretty much using so far throughout those couple of days I've done, and even this weekend. And believe it or not, they're actually pre-glues I've been using all weekend. I've used a combination of 5 sets since we arrived, and as of which all seem awesome, awesomely glued, and very much maybe some time saver through the year. I'm gonna hope to get on with quite out the packet and on the car is awesome. So yeah, tyres again, another brilliant key to the chain. I had no idea. I mean, we were heading here with, like I said, John's setup. No idea. That's the only words I can say. We were heading here. We were confident with what we had. We knew what we were doing, and we were just going to see what happened. We wanted to get clean runs, have a good presence with the tents, and meet the guys, because I haven't met most of the team yet, even though we're almost 3 months into my new career. So yeah, having no idea what was going to happen, we just came here with our heads down, concentrating on getting around the track, clean laps, no problems happening, and see where we ended up in the pack. I think you can look at it from all types of avenues and all types of opinions. However, the only one person that really matters is obviously my boss, John Hazelwood. And his point of view is, we didn't know what was going to happen. We've taken the TQ. Hopefully, so far, we've proved that the equipment we have is perfectly capable. Now, if it's all to go wrong today, then I'm afraid that happens in everybody's racing career. Do I want it to happen today? No. But if so, something was to happen, we can only take so many positives out of this. And if we have to take a couple of negatives to move forwards and work on it, then so be it. But hopefully everything's strong, everything's good. We've all gone over the car, and it's all down just to the track, and obviously a bit of luck on track, as you know, in any final. So no, hopefully not. But it started almost too good to be true. We'll see how long the luck lasts. Good. It feels strange, as I'm still sat in France waiting for my semi-final, when my check-in says I can now check in. So a very short period of time until I have to head over there. But yeah, it feels good. Obviously, it's again a slightly different track. We're stepping up to a bigger track, bigger jumps. May need the car to flow a bit more rather than pivot. So again, the setup is a little bit unknown, but at least I know what this is going to do. Dave Duggan will be traveling with me to there, as John has to get back to other sides of the business again. But yeah, I'll have support there. Pretty confident in. I'm confident in everything we have. Just obviously, it may need a few tweaks as to maybe take some steering away, take some pivot away, just to help it flow and carry some more corner speed rather than stop, pivot, and go, which is very much what we're having to do around the majority of this track. But I'm very, very confident with the people around me, the stuff I'm using, and I can't thank any of them enough right now.